There we go. All right, what's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, doing a special SmackDown review. I'm here with my boy Chris, Wrestling Views. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what's up, you guys? Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to join Chris Wrestling Views. And of course, thanks Byron for a little big man. I call him Byron, but little big man for having me on his channel today. So we're gonna get into it.
Yes, we is. We're gonna get straight into it. You know how we do. I got my championship belt on. We ready. Let's do it. Um, they started off SmackDown with Becky Lynch, where they had a recap of SummerSlam. Then they showed the returns of Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, all that good jazz. Then we got to Becky Lynch. She cut an in-ring promo, basically talking about how she liked to how she giving up the Raw Women's Championship was like giving up her life. You know, it was like giving up her life and identity, and she had to work to get back to where she is. And that it was a lot of controversy surrounding, her return. Was she, how she won the championship, and that I feel like she do owe an apology, but then she did like the little Hillish thing, said she don't need to apologize to nobody. Uh, this would bring out Bianca Belair. She came out, she wanted her rematch. Uh, Carmella, Liv Morgan, and Zelina, they would come out telling Bianca to move to the side. They all wanted the chance to fight Becky Lynch for the title. Becky Lynch would end up rejecting uh uh what did she Becky Lynch rejected Bianca Belair's championship request, and then they end up fighting, which caused a four-way, was a four-way elimination, I think it was. Yeah, it's a four-way elimination to determine who will face Becky Lynch. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that promo first before we get into that elimination four-way. What you think? What did you think of that?
Um, I felt like what they were gonna do were probably have like a just a regular fatal four way match instead of a elimination one. But as with Liv Morgan, of course we haven't seen her since Money in the Bank. Time when she was in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then also Carmella, she's still on the hunt to try and get it. And then we got Zelina. She, is still going after it because I guess she doesn't have nothing else better to do. But I wonder how would a match between Zelina and Liv Morgan 1-on-1 would be. But the promo, we already knew what was going to happen, especially. Goodness, sorry about that, man.
No, that's good.
Goodness, every
You're right.
time it's. But anyways, but I think that promos it was pretty much it was just generic, I can say. But yeah.
I mean, I felt like it was exactly what I thought Becky was gonna do. She's the man, so I felt like she was gonna be cocky, and then all the little rumors saying that she was gonna be a heel going into this. So I felt like everything she said was what I was expecting. What I didn't expect was like them getting Liv Morgan involved. So that was kind of like the plus for me to see Liv Morgan, because they got rid of her. They already dropped two of her down tag team partners. So it's like I don't want her because she got potential. So I didn't want her to be just in catering, get released herself. So it's good to see her get some spotlight shine, especially in that match, which takes me to that match, which was the four-way elimination match between Bianca Belair, Zelina, Carmella, and Morgan. That match was actually a good match. I didn't think it was gonna go as long as it did, and it was actually pretty good. Uh, I like that they gave the final spotlight to Liv Morgan in that match. They
Like,
eliminated.
quick question though. Um, with that Becky Lynch, I didn't really hear her entire promo because I missed the first 5 minutes of SmackDown. But did she seem like as if she was cocky or anything like that during her promo, or was she like the same old Becky Lynch that like to hype up the crowd?
Who, Becky or Zelina?
Becky.
Becky, she basically she started off like she was. happy to be there, talking with the crowd, saying she missed the crowd. So she was basically hyping up the crowd up until the point where she started talking about like the controversy and how she needed to owe the apology. And then once she got to where she thinks she needed to say sorry, she said, I want to say sorry to absolutely nobody. And then she started acting like a cocky heel for the rest of that, saying that if you didn't think I was prepared to do what I had to do to get back to where I was, basically saying that she kept her head on the swivel, she was prepared, and that what happened was because Bianca was prepared. And obviously she couldn't be prepared because, she was expecting to fight Sasha, then Carmella, then Becky, but she basically was saying she's basically started being cocky after that. She was even being cocky like when Bianca was trying to get her into the match, try to get her to fight for the championship later on the night, but she ended up doing like the cocky heel thing, saying, "Nah, not tonight," and just walked out the ring. And that's when they all just started fighting. That's when the 4-way elimination match came into play. But yeah, she wasn't really acting. She didn't act cocky to like the halfway point until almost the end of her promo, like a heel. But
Gotcha.
other than that, she started off good though. She started off like she was a face. But yeah, this first match was a good match though. What did you think about that 4-way elimination match itself?
Basically, with the match, I'll say it was pretty decent. If I had to give it a rating, I give it like a 3.45 or so. But we already knew what the outcome was going to be, which is Bianca Belair winning. And she's going to face Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But then again, you guys, it would have been kind of different if we would have seen Liv Morgan actually win it. But then again, it's all good. So she ends up winning with the KOD. So yeah.
Mhm. I feel the same way. Like that was one of the best things they did in that match, and I give them credit for that. Lately the shows have been bad, both Raw and SmackDown. Not so much as SmackDown, more Raw, but
Heck yeah.
I give them credit for the fact that they gave Liv Morgan that spotlight to where she almost looked like she was going to win it, which makes me feel like they're going to give her a good push eventually. That's usually what they do. When they do that to somebody, they give them a good push. But so that gets me hopeful for Liv Morgan's future. But yeah, then we transition to a backstage segment with Paul Heyman, which was one of the funniest segments of the night. Um, he basically got I think her name is Kayla Braxton.
Yeah,
Was
Caleb
trying to
Braxton.
was trying to interview him, and he was just like, "Oh God, you don't got nothing else to do." And, she was basically asking him where he stand with Brock Lesnar being back, and he said he stands in the corner of the tribal chief, and that he always be in the tribal chief's corner. And then he has to get into the room, but the room is locked, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "What the hell?" And then, this I think they went to another match before they came back to him. I don't know how that went. I can't remember if they went to another match or it went to commercial and came back to him.
Yeah, yeah. It actually did go on commercial first, and then it came back to Paul Heyman.
Okay, okay.
By the door was locked.
Yeah, they came back to him, and Caleb was still there. He said, "You don't got nothing better to do, nobody else to go stalk or interview." She just like, "No, no," and
Yeah,
he just
it
sitting
was
there like embarrassed as
crazy.
hell. It was funny. I'm like, "Oh Lord!" Then the
And
Usos.
see, and see, I thought Roman Reigns actually locked him out the locker room and didn't
Yeah,
want him in there.
that's what I thought too. I thought it was Roman, but it was end up being the Usos.
Right. And
And
then
they
yeah, the
go ahead, go
Usos,
ahead.
yeah, the Usos were questioning Paul Heyman, and I was wondering why, hey, why is the door locked? And why did you have anything to do with Brock Lesnar returning at SummerSlam? Why did you send us back to the locker room? And then that's when Paul Heyman was like, I didn't do it. The tribal chief did it. And he said, "Oh," and so Jimmy and Jay were like, "Oh, so you're blaming it on the tribal chief now?"
Right. I'm like, but that to me that felt like a little like writers error because like you would they didn't see when they was coming out with at SummerSlam, everybody saw Roman Reigns go like this to Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman went and told them to go to the back. So you act like y'all didn't see him just tell Paul Heyman to tell y'all to go to the back. We supposed to believe
Wow.
y'all didn't see that, but I feel like that's
Did
just a little
so?
nitpick with.
So question is, did Roman tell them to go back, or was it Paul Heyman? I can't quite remember.
No, Roman did. Like when they came out for the entrance for Roman for his match with John Cena, as they was walking down, Roman stops and turns to Paul Heyman and tells him, he don't you don't hear him tell him, but you hear him whisper it to him because you could tell that's what he said. Because then the next thing he did was tell them to go to the back.
Ah, okay.
So that's why. So he did tell him. That's why I just felt like it was stupid for them to think it was Paul Heyman, where they saw Roman literally tilt his head and say something to Paul Heyman, and he told them to go to the back.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, they did question him about Brock Lesnar, saying, "Well, if you didn't, how come if you didn't know about Brock showing up at SummerSlam, like at you being Paul Heyman, how come you didn't know?" No, which leads to that was actually a good question. Like you supposed to know that was your former client, so why didn't you know? Versus you telling us you didn't know, so they felt a little jaded, and they kept him outside the locker room until Roman got there later on in the night. But what you think about that backstage from that little backstage segment, man?
You guys, I really thought, like I said, I really thought that Roman Reigns actually did lock him out the room because of that. But Roman wasn't even there. Only the Usos, they were there in the locker room. And of course, when Roman arrived up, and then Paul Heyman, just opened it, like just opened the door and then just walked in. Because when, like I said, when Roman Reigns came, it was basically like, I thought you locked me out. His, which was like the expression of Paul Heyman's face. So, but I think that promo was definitely, it was a pretty good one. Something new, something fresh. That WWE actually did. So I definitely get them props on this promo. So I wonder what next week is gonna look like going forward with Brock being back, to where if Paul Heyman's is behind this or what.
Right,
And
right.
so, yeah.
I thought we was gonna get that answer tonight, but I was surprised that they didn't have Brock Lesnar on the show. But we had a quick little second match, which was Chad Gable versus Cesaro.
Yep.
Um, I really didn't really care for that match at all because I
Yeah,
knew
man.
it
I
was
get
they've been doing the
I give it
same. No, they've been doing the same thing for the past couple of weeks. Every time Chad has a match, it end up getting DQ'd anyway because of Otis. So I really didn't care for it, but they did squash Cesaro though. They beat the hell out of Cesaro. So it looked like they trying to get some type of push for Otis and Chad Gable.
and dude, man, I cannot stand Otis. I can't stand him at all. Like I can even stand him even when he was with Tucker. His name used to be like what Tucker Knight. Then they had
Yeah.
Otis as Otis Dodovich or whatever or something like that. And I just really don't like Alpha Academy. And I don't know if you've seen this or not, Little Big Man, but after the match, um, Chad Gable kiss Otis on his cheek, which was, I was like, what? Like, kiss this man on his cheek?
No,
Yeah, definitely,
I did not see that at all.
dude, man. Hold on. Hopefully we don't get copyright for this. But go ahead and talk, and I'm gonna show you guys that part of the match.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, Cesaro was having the upper hand in the match, but then Otis would get involved. He would I think he hit Cesaro while he was in the middle of the swing, caused a DQ. So that means your winner was Cesaro just by DQ, but he got his butt whooped anyway eventually in the end. Really didn't care too much about it. It was the same old that I've seen before, but we're gonna move
Yeah,
on. We gonna put
Here it goes. Here, you guys. I want you guys to see this. See. Oh man, hold on.
Little Academy.
Did you see that?
Oh Lord, I did. I missed that. I did not see that at all.
And it was talking about four. I would not never kiss another man on his cheek. Like, what kind of mess is that?
Oh Lord, have
I don't
mercy.
care if it's for the academy or for the whatever. You know, no man should never play about another man kissing him on the cheek. So, I mean, I find that definitely pretty weird. I never like ever since I've been watching pro wrestling, I've never seen another man kiss another guy on his cheek.
Yeah, I never seen that either. Like that's why I think I wasn't really paying attention to it so much that I did. That's how I missed it. I paid attention to enough to know who won and what happened. I just like certain parts. I just like zoned out of it. But wow, okay, that was
Yeah.
that was something. Um, moving on, we got a Baron Corbin promo. What caught me off guard because I didn't see like his little Instagram or Twitter tweets, whatever. So I didn't know that he got back on his feet on doing SummerSlam. So he comes out now as happy Baron Corbin, and he got new music. Which the reason why I want to touch on this is because his new music sucks. His old music was way better. Like it was some type of casino like theme music.
Yeah.
He got his money back, but I guess the main crux of it was to show that he's back to being rich and that he wanted to buy Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase. So he asked Big E to come out. Big E comes out, you know, he makes an offer that he went, he said like 20,000, then he said 50,000, then he ended up going to 100,000, but Big E just wasn't having it. He said no, but then he contemplated when he got to the 100,000, he was thinking about it, but we all know he was gonna say no, so he was just like hell no, you know. He ended up like just telling Baron like, "Come on, okay, well, fine, keep your title and keep your briefcase because you're going to be miserable because you're going to cash it in, and you're going to be unsuccessful, like because you know it happens to people." And Big E was like, "You mean like it happened to you?" And he was like, "Yeah, like it happened to me. It happens." He
And
was
this
so
is
happy. He was just so happy that he didn't even care if he
I
was
was
getting insulted.
surprised. I was surprised. No, not to cut you off, dude. But I was surprised that he didn't get mad or anything like that when he was one to buy the briefcase. I thought he was going to take the briefcase and run with it again. I thought that he probably was going to like get mad at Big E for saying that that he lost his money in the bank briefcase that one time. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Big E started like pulling stuff out of his um damn, what you call that, like his onesies or whatever you call them. But
Hmm.
he started pulling out stuff that Barry Corbin could use that money on, and then he got the crowd hyped because he brought out one of they local mascot, plus he toys, threw it into the crowd. And I'm trying to figure out what else did he do. Oh yeah, then he just told Barry Corbin that he was done with all this. He was done with all the games and that, and he don't get out the ring. He was gonna smack that smile off his face. Baron Corbin being happy, I guess, was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get out the ring because I'm too happy. I'm too rich for all this, and he just left. So I don't
I
know.
was
He kind of
surprised he didn't even throw a blow.
yeah. I don't see the thing about this whole segment other than him trying to. It didn't lead to nothing. It was like I thought it was gonna lead to them fighting or whatever. It was just him trying to really be happy and really try to buy the Money in the Bank. And when it didn't work, he just left. So I don't know where they're going with this. So there was an odd little promo to me.
Right.
Um, I'm not even. I think that transition. What did you think about? I forgot to ask you. What you thought about it?
No, dude. No, you're good. But I just felt like, I felt like, like you, I would agree with what you said. I felt like it could have escalated to something else. With Baron Corbin, attacking Biggie or well, I think they already had a match. I think it was like was it the pre-show at
Yeah, I think it was
SummerSlam?
a pre-show match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and yeah, they already fought 1-on-1. Biggie got a briefcase back and all that good stuff, but maybe he's gonna maybe he's not really gonna wrestle. Maybe he's gonna go over to Raw. This upcoming Monday and probably do something to show that he is happy. Probably go and mess with John Morrison or something, or just something like that. So he may appear over on Raw as well, just being happy with all the people that he done asked money for. Maybe even Kevin Owens next week on Friday Night Smackdown. So definitely gonna have to see how WWE is gonna do this going forward with Baron Corbin. I was about to say the bomb, Baron Corbin, but he's not the bomb no more. So
Right,
yeah.
right. That was the other thing too. It was like Kevin Owens was at ringside, and Braun got like two people he had a problem with, and none of them like even tried to like get in his face and that. So I'm like, that was another thing that was weird. Like Kevin Owens was right there. I thought he was gonna say something to both Kevin and Biggie, but he didn't. So it is.
Mm, it didn't
Um,
happen.
I don't know if I missed another match here or not, but they went from that promo to a backstage promo with Edge. I don't know if that actually went like that, but I'm pretty sure it went from that to another backstage promo with Edge talking about some stuff, talking about how he had to go to a dark place to beat Seth Rollins, and he paid for it because it kind of messed with him. Because now it kind of messed with him in his everyday life after that. But he basically was saying he was done with Seth Rollins, and that he was moving on to what Seth Rollins caused him, which was the Universal Championship, and that I guess that was
Question Question is, who will be Edge's next opponent? Who will Seth Rollins' next opponent will be? I mean, it's only a handful of people, within the WWE itself could possibly Edge maybe move into Monday Night Raw to try and boost Monday Night Raw ratings up in some kind of way, because of course we got Brock Lesnar is a part of the SmackDown roster now, and with him being on SmackDown now it gives Raw the opportunity to grab the rated R superstar and put him on Raw, so it can be rated R superstar Raw or something like that. But that's what I feel like Edge is definitely going to be moving to Raw. But who he's going to feud with, I don't know. Same thing for Seth Rollins. I wonder, could we ever see like a Seth Rollins versus a Bobby Lashley? I don't know that.
I
I don't know.
I don't know. Like the way how they talk it backstage. The reason why Becky's on SmackDown is because Seth is on SmackDown. They want to keep. I think they said they want to keep couples on the same show. That's why Naomi was on the show, and it was on Smack. She finally made her appearance on SmackDown. That's why she on SmackDown, because Jimmy's on SmackDown. So like they trying to keep the couples on the same show. So if they were to move Seth to Raw, they would have to move Becky to Raw, which would mess up their whole plans on what they got going now. So I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
oh yeah, because you definitely want to overcrowd like your wrestling roster and have like you have two big superstars over on Raw, and then you have your other two big superstars on SmackDown. So you don't want to put your you don't want to put Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch over on Raw, which it wouldn't really do good because the ratings on SmackDown will start dropping. But hopefully they don't drop. But we did have a match though where we had Rick Boogs and King Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert. Is it Robert or Bobby Roode?
It's Rob. It's Robert. It was. I think it was Bobby Roode. Oh yeah, I think it was. But then he changed it to Robert Roode.
One time I almost called him Rick Rude.
Yeah, it's almost like because everybody knows who Rick Rude is. So it's like when I see Robert Roode, it'd be like almost about to come out. Be like every time he come out, I almost be about to be like, yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Rick Rude. I mean,
And
Robert Roode.
you remember the time when Robert Roode he was he was no when he was Bobby Roode, he he had like the little jacket thing, kind of like Rick Rude.
Mm.
But yeah, that match, it was. I have to say it was definitely pretty cool. I have to say the least. But yeah, what's your thoughts on it, little big man?
I mean, it was all right. It was another. It was a great showing for Rick Boogs, because this was another good match for him. They really you see that in these matches where they had him being teaming up with King Nakamura, they really try to give him like the spotlight almost. Like I think the last two tag team matches he got the win for. So yeah, this was a good another. This was an okay match because it was a match to highlight Rick Boogs. It was like and another great win for King Nakamura. Um,
Right, but
I feel like
possibly
they're gonna end up moving Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler to Raw when the Superstar Shakeup happens.
right. I feel like what they're probably gonna do. I really, I really want them to change up the commentary team and bring Pat McAfee to Raw. So and bring King Nakamura to Raw as well. So he can be the king of Raw. Um, Also, I kind of hate that Pat McAfee. He tested positive for COVID on Wednesday or Thursday, and he, I mean, he's just gonna be out probably this week, next week, and he'll probably be back the Friday after then.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we just hope to get him back because I know he probably was at home jumping around and everything when Rick Boogs and Nakamura came out. But yeah, you
yeah.
guys,
It kind of felt weird to see to see a King Nakamura segment and not see Pat McAfee on the table because they tried their best to like give it that Pat McAfee like vibe Pat McAfee been given to that segment, but they really couldn't be because it wasn't the same because they were just sitting there talking like they was enthusiastic about Rick Boogs and King Nakamura, but Pat McAfee he's on the table just rocking.
right, right.
um,
Um,
but yeah, it was an alright match. I ain't gonna say it was bad. It was alright. But we moving on to I think the next match was Dominic Mysterio versus Sami. Well, they didn't know at first it was gonna be Sami Zayn, but it was like a mystery opponent. But that mystery opponent turned out to be Sami Zayn. Um, I think that was actually a good. I think I see what they try to go with the story. Maybe they trying to. I don't know. It felt like they tried to turn Dom heel at this point, or maybe he about to get mad and turn on his father. I feel like they've been pushing towards that for a while, especially with the recent losses and stuff. Maybe he want to go end up breaking down his own, probably end up getting drafted Raw eventually by himself. But I feel like that's what they going with this, like him turn on his father or whatnot.
right, and with Dominic basically losing to Sami Zayn, which we haven't seen in Sami Zayn. I believe he wrestled the week before. I think the same. I think it was on that SmackDown before Money in the Bank. I believe the last time I seen him.
Yeah, winning
Uh,
against Kevin Owens.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. And with just seeing Sami Zayn win it with the Haluva kick and Rey Mysterio trying to come down there to help and everything. Dominic is definitely gonna be, he's definitely gonna be solo. He's definitely gonna be a heel. I feel like with him being young and being a heel, and basically just pushing his father out of the spotlight would definitely be good. Just not to get off subject or anything, but just like Charlotte Flair did her dad, and to make like their character grow and not being saying, oh, you're in this company because of Ric Flair. Oh, you're in the company because of your dad, the great Rey Mysterio, or
right,
something
right.
like that. So I definitely can see maybe Dominic Mysterio one day being Intercontinental Champion, maybe fighting King Nakamura. and that'll be definitely something
No,
probably worth watching. And I know Dominic is definitely going to be learning, as time goes on. And I know Dominic going to change his theme and all that stuff. I can't wait till that heel turn implodes, even if it may not be uh, within 2 weeks that he may not turn heel. Next week he may start yelling at his dad backstage and saying, "No, Dad, I got it," so on and so forth. And then I would say probably around the middle, no, around like the end of September, we're definitely going to see that see that heel turn definitely transpire.
I see him too. Like when he turned heel, maybe adopting more of an Eddie Guerrero style of wrestling. That lie, cheating, and stealing. I mean, it makes sense because he, as a face, he wrestles like his father. So maybe as like a heel, he wrestles more like Eddie Guerrero. But who knows?
Yeah, I
Um,
do.
yeah, it was a good match, and it was great to see Sami Zayn back. But we move on to the last part of the night. I think is the Roman Reigns family celebration promo.
Bloodline, yes.
Yeah, bloodline promo. I love the little bloodline T-shirt. That was actually cool. I ain't was expecting them to have that. I might
Looked like the mafia.
right. I might have to cop that shirt just because he looked like a mafia. But
Best shirt WWE's selling right now, minus
but
some other shirts.
this is when we basically this was leading into like from when Roman came back and basically was like, "What are you doing, Paul? You coming in?" He was like, "I gotta hold my own doors now." He was basically like trying to figure out what was wrong with Paul. Like, why was Paul acting like he couldn't be a part of the family? So when they was going out for the family celebration, he was like, this is a family celebration. And he was like, Paul, you is family. So he basically tells Paul to come. Paul holds up the championship. Roman, he tried to give the championship to Roman Reigns. Roman was like, what am I going to do with that? So they come out, do their usual entrance. Basically, it looked like Roman was getting ready to talk, but then he gave it to Paul Heyman and told Paul Heyman to tell the crowd to acknowledge him, and then told him to the crowd to acknowledge the Usos, and
Like,
I
it
think he
was
was
crazy.
yeah, I think he was getting ready to say something else, but then that's when Finn Balor came out, and Finn Balor basically said he's gonna deal with John Cena when the time comes because he still got a bone to pick with John Cena. I guess he's really is mad at John Cena for signing that contract. Um, he said that he was gonna but he wants Roman Reigns next week because he said he's not gonna rate because he run into a good question with Edge and Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Everybody wanted to challenge Roman Reigns for the title. And he said he was next. He was supposed to be the one to face him at SummerSlam. So he was saying he's not gonna wait. He's not waiting his turn. He's not going. He want him next week for the championship. Even though I don't think we even got that answer because they were just sitting there jaw jacking with each other, and he would end up throwing the mic at Roman Reigns, and that's where the fight would start. But then he would get beat up by the Usos, and then Roman Reigns would join in on the beating up until the Street Profits comes out, and they end up helping Finn Balor. They repel Roman Reigns and the Usos. And I think they end up beating up on the Usos while Roman Reigns was like up on the ramp, just looking back, not real, not knowing whether or not he accepted the match or not. And I forgot also, I think they talked about how he beat up John Cena too. I forgot they talked about how he beat up John Cena and demolished him at SummerSlam. But yeah, overall, I think that was a good promo. That was another good promo of the night. Uh, it was I was hoping they actually answered, and it felt like because it was so close to the end of the show that a lot of stuff was rushed. But they had time that I think they had the proper time. They could have basically sold everything properly in this promo. It just felt like it's just some things was a little rushed, but other than that, it was a good promo. But what you think?
I definitely I definitely think what what basically took like a lot of their time was all these promos back and forth, back and forth.
Right, right.
Um, I mean, like some of the promos were like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then they wasted time with having Dominic fight Sami Zayn, which we already knew what was the outcome was going to be. That could have been more time on focusing on the bloodline group.
Right.
So with the without the I mean with the whole show, it's slightly leaning right now. It's not like it was, yeah, it's kind of leaning because the last like these past Smackdowns that we've seen through when there was no fans or whatever. So when we got fans back, we seen about three good Smackdowns, but this one right here, not so. But it is what it is, though. So yeah,
I mean, yeah, I felt like that too. Like I said this before on my channel that when you have a promo heavy show like this, your show is not going to come off as good. Like this, if this was any, if I could say this show was anything, this episode of SmackDown was very promo heavy, and we only had like a couple, like what, 4 matches. Yeah,
yeah. We don't have four matches, which
we
was
only had
surprising. Normally,
right,
normally they have like at least six.
right. At least we got two matches that we could have. You could have had Naomi in the match. She was on the show, she was backstage, and they just, I get the little segment they had her in, but that could have been a match right there.
I
Instead of
wonder
a
where.
back,
I
instead of a
wonder where.
back.
Yeah, I wonder where this is definitely going to transpire to with Sonya Deville was like as you said was telling Naomi that that she wasn't going to come to that she was coming to SmackDown. But you guys may attack Sonya Deville or attack whomever that comes toward her. Maybe even Zelina Vega may come to her and say, "Oh, well, what you're doing over, what are you doing over here? You don't belong here." And then they end up having a match, and then maybe even a match against Carmella. But who knows? We'll definitely have to see next week on Friday Night SmackDown where this is going to escalate to next with Naomi or
Yeah,
Naomi, whichever way.
I also want to point out too, where's Tony Storm? She had that one debut match and didn't, and then now we haven't seen her since. Just like Keith Lee, they just booted them to the side.
I don't know, man. I wonder the same thing.
But yeah, the show as a whole, if I had to say anything, the show as a whole was just like, for me, you know how we do it on my channel. I said this show I gave it a 6. It was a decent. That is a 6 on my show, just okay to almost bad show, but it was a relatively okay show. Like I enjoyed it, but I really don't like when they do a promo heavy episode of Raw or SmackDown, because it's like you could have saved matches. You could have matches for people who doesn't get screen time versus giving all the time to just promos and stuff like that. We did come to see somebody wrestle eventually, so kind of dial back on the promos. But that's just me. That's how I felt about it.
Got you. Well, yep. And that was the end of SmackDown. Ready to see what's gonna happen next week. With Dominic, with with Becky and Bianca, and then also with maybe Edge, and just all the little questionable things that we could think of what's to come next week on Friday Night SmackDown, or within the coming weeks. So definitely ready to look forward to what's going to happen next. Maybe SmackDown be a little bit greater next week, but rating out of the show, I definitely agree with you, LilBigMan, that I have to give this show a 6 as well. Normally, I would give a show like a 7 point something, but definitely a 6. It was an okay show, but just too many promos and things definitely did kind of bring it down.
Yeah. I just remember too, before I end this video, I forgot that during the Edge segment, Seth Rollins had a response to what Edge said. I forgot that Seth Rollins said that, he congratulated Edge, and then he said that what he said to Edge, that that his loss to Edge taught him something, that it taught him that maybe if he want to fight his way back to the Universal Championship, he need to be more like Edge, and look like Seth Rollins a little bit off, like his loss to Edge kind of messed his head up, but he was kind of playing like he was going a little crazy. But I just wanted to add that in there because I forgot to add that when we was talking about that.
Yeah, it's okay, dude. It is all good.
But
But
y'all, but yeah, y'all, it's that time in the video. We gotta end it. If y'all enjoy this video, then hit that link right there in the upper right corner. That's my all of my wrestling reviews. And if you enjoy the channel so much that you want to support both our channels, hit that like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you always get notified when we both drop videos. So that means go over to Chris Wrestling Reviews, hit his like, subscribe buttons, and notification, hit my like, subscribe, and notification button, and as always, hit any one of our videos for more of our amazing content. We are out of here. Say goodbye to the people, Chris.
peace.
You know what we do. All right, guys. That's all we got. Peace out.
Peace.